Hey everybody, got another story for you for the Deals on the Wheels session. I want to talk about how too much pride in the multifamily business can cost you some serious jack. Stick around, you're going to want to hear this story. Let's go! Talking kind of loud right now because I'm heading to the racetrack. It's beautiful out. You might have some different light coming in, but that's okay. Let's get into the story. About 4.5 years ago, I had brought a buyer to a seller of a 220 unit apartment complex in one of my markets in Florida. We had negotiated the deal. The buyers had walked the asset, had done some preliminary due diligence, submitted an offer, and the offer was rejected. Just wasn't high enough for what the seller wanted. I knew it was a good offer price, but they didn't take it. That's okay. It happens. About 2 or 3 months later, I see that same asset get listed by a different broker for a good bit higher than what we had submitted our offer on. Again, nothing out of the ordinary there. About 3 months later, since we track all of the closings that happen in my market, so we track them every 2 weeks, we see that 220 unit complex closed for about $8,000 a unit, less than what we had submitted our offer for. That comes out to about $1.7 million. Now, of course, initially when I saw that, I thought to myself, what? Are you kidding me? But then reason quickly came to me and said, okay, there must have been a reason. So I called the listing broker, who of course I know, asked him about the transaction, and all of the offers just came in a good bit lower than the ask price. A seller may want a very high price, and a lot of brokers will still take that listing because they know they're going to do a good enough job to bring in 10, 12, 14 offers that will be at the price where it should be, which will be less than the ask, as long as they feel like that seller is a reasonable human being and sees that the market has spoken. And that's what happened here. However, what I was surprised by was that this seller never even told the broker about the $1.7 million higher offer that I had brought several months earlier. I asked the broker, did anything come up during due diligence other than the financials weren't there to support it? And he said no. There weren't any plumbing issues or roofing issues or title issues. The seller just took $1.7 million less, which led me to believe that the only thing I could think of was that this seller's pride was worth $1.7 million. Now listen, everyone has a cost of pride. I have a cost of pride. You have a cost of pride. Is it $1.7 million? Hell to the no. My buyer was one of the most prolific buyers in that region, which I had actually submitted to that seller, showing the proof of the number of units they own, what they had bought and sold over the last 5 years, how I've transacted with them before. They knew all this and still turned down the offer. Now listen, that's their real estate. They can do with it as they please. I also know things can change within an ownership cycle. Maybe they didn't have the time to come back to me and negotiate quickly and close 60 to 90 days later with my buyer. Maybe that existed. The one good thing about this story is that they were a single owner. They were not a syndication or a REIT or a national who potentially cost their investors a significant amount of money. Now listen, there is a delta between what my buyers offered and what a seller would have taken in this situation where it makes sense to take a lower offer. There is a number that makes sense to not have to start all over again, go to contract with an unknown who hasn't done due diligence, who may, though rare, retrade or change the dynamics of the PSA. There is a number for that. But in my book, $1.7 million seems a little crazy. And here's the thing. It's not like I wasn't going to find out. Coming back to me and trying to do a deal for much higher would have made much more sense. Or at minimum, used my offer to get their current buyer up even more. All right. I'm beating a dead horse right now. All I'm saying is, let's think financially on making decisions in real estate instead of pride and ego. It goes a long way. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.